Before we have a look in training mode, notice that in guide mode at the top there is a BowlsIQ headlines. If you click on it, you can interact with the latest news across the world of bowls. It'll open up in your browser and it'll pull up the latest news of the day, highlighting hot off the press last week and over the last month. And you can filter through by country and you can filter out via news or videos as well. So be sure to check in there on a daily basis via the app. Let's go into sessions. Let's add a training session. Add in the details that you want. You might be a coach. You might be going through several players that are working with you at once. So you can put how many players and how many deliveries they're bowling before changing to the other player. And then you can just toggle through and add the different players and their handedness, etc. So I'm just going to create this session. So notice how there's a variety of different parts on here. There is a jack throwing part as well. So if you click on jack throwing, it'll randomize the distance and then it'll say how many attempts would you like them to throw at that distance. And then you basically will put what you perceive the distance to be. So if you're putting a marker out at 23 meters, for example, and then they threw 23.5, you can record that event. And then another one, they've thrown 23.5 again. On another one, they've thrown 22.5. At this point, it's going to randomize to another distance. But we can see below that we're getting some form of statistical basis around whether they're within their tolerance. So if we change the tolerance, okay, so you can change the tolerance. So if we had another one now that was a meter out of target, but our tolerance was 50, we can see how we're going, whether they're long, whether they're short, and how long they're short and whether they are in their tolerance. So a way of doing a jack throwing. So let's go back into the delivery tab. You would select the delivery length and then the shot type that they're going for. So draw and tactical would be very much a how far away from target, whether that be the jack or an area that you were asking them to aim for. And then runners and drive are very much going to be a qualitative score. So if you clicked on draw, we know that we've got a particular player throwing draw shots into the element. We can put a map position in, and then you'd start with your same preferences around how far you'd like to be out. So I'm going to put it within a meter. You would plot where your delivery ends, and you can just plot them all in as they go through. You can change the handedness, you can change the shot type, etc. as you go through. So now you've got some data. Notice how you're looking at thresholds. So you can say, depending on what level the bowler is at, you can set your different thresholds to see what kind of target they're hitting their draws at. You've got average distance and line and length. You've got some variety of stats. So you could show the filter. You could filter out the last deliveries. You could filter out just forehands or backhands if you wanted to. Also, notice how you get some form of plot. Once you've got some more values, you've got things like heat maps and cigar plots that start to show you a dispersion around the jack for those deliveries. So essentially a way of still coding and showing these deliveries, going through and adding them over time, that once they've got like 10 deliveries, you might be taking them away each time, but the plot that you see as the 3D view will start to give you your proximity around the jack and what that looks like with the same exports and the same stats and outputs that you could have elsewhere in the app.